Welcome back to Glitter Mindset. I am your host, Aria Leighty. And do we love it? We are only a few episodes in and there's already an F-bomb in the title. But it's so necessary. It's so needed because honestly, fuck humble. And the reason that I'm making this podcast, the reason that I want to talk about this is because there has been a theme that I have seen in the past 3 cohorts of Show Up to Go Up, my program about intentional networking and how to show up in the world and press. This idea that we are carrying around that we can't show up, we can't take up space. And most of the people who join the program, they want to jump right into the juicy content about the rooms to go into, how to get press, how to network. But we start week 1 with really focusing on stepping into our power, confronting some of the stories that keep us small or being held back. We kick it off with the visualization about how we want to show up, how we want to be known in the world. And often a few weeks into the program, that week 1 content will need to be revisited. And I've had so many students say like, oh, I get it now. I see why that inner work couldn't be skipped, right? At first they weren't really taking that part seriously. They were filling out the worksheets. They were like, yep, I know exactly how I want to show up. I can see her. I'm visualizing her. I'm stepping into her. In my power. Got it. Let's go. Get to the good stuff. And then week 3, 4, 5. Oh, okay. I need to go back to that visualization. I need to actually take those questions seriously. I need to really pause and reflect on some of the stories that are holding me back. So why is that? Because when we start talking about showing up in the rooms with power, right? Like owning the room, floating through it, attracting dream clients. When we start going into the attraction marketing pieces, when we dive into ideas about how to be on podcasts or big stages, guess what? Those limiting beliefs start popping up. You start to notice, oh, okay, I get it now, right? Who am I to share my story? Why would anybody want to hear from me? When they visualize into a room and, walking into a room and owning it, we say, well, that's great for someone like blank, but not for me, right? Maybe her, but not me. Of course, they are in their power, but I don't have anything to offer. If I walk into a room the way I visualize, what will people think? What will people say? How will they feel? What will they think about me, right? Showing up in that confidence. There's just this theme of staying small and holding back for others' comfort. And when we jump into the attraction marketing and sharing screenshots and testimonials, then all of a sudden the conversation turns to talking about bragging and the negativity of it. We're unpacking the shame and the guilt that we are feeling in regards to showing up and sharing our wins and sharing what people are saying about us. That's great. So they talk about bragging and being boastful and, this idea that we need to be humble. And so in the past 2 cohorts, I've actually had to go and look up the definitions, right? Like, let's unpack these words that we're throwing around here, because when we really look at the definitions and sit with them, it's really freaking eye-opening. So the definition of humble, this idea of something that we should just totally be, is having or showing a modest or low estimate of one's own importance. Barf. So what's the definition of brag? Saying something in a boastful manner. Okay, let's look up the definition of boastful. Showing excessive pride and self-satisfaction in one's achievements, possessions, or abilities. So sit with that for a second. And then I ask you, why the hell would anybody want to be humble? Why would we want to be humble? Why the hell are we still saying that women should be humble? Why do we want people to have a low estimate of one's own importance? Like, literally, fuck that. Fuck that. But it's on purpose, right? It's designed this way. It is not by accident. We have been trained as women to stay quiet and not take up space. We have been taught by society as queers to hide pieces of ourselves, right? We have been modeled as people of color and marginalized communities to play nice, to fit in, to be a model minority, fit into this white male world and not cause trouble, don't rock the boat, right? This shit is not by accident. The systems don't want us to know our power. The systems were not set up for us to succeed. There's not a seat at the table because the tables were not built for us. It also, it goes down to science too. It's how our brains are wired, right? We couldn't risk being outcast from our tribes or groups. We would literally risk death. We couldn't speak up as women because we would risk being on our own, being left and neglected and not being taken care of, because we are just really able to be independent in recent history, right? So when we're thinking about things like this, like bragging, it's just triggering those inner wounds and those generational stories that were passed down to us, like the trauma and truths that live within our bodies that were handed down to us, society's constant messages. And we're scared we're going to trigger someone else with our stories too, right? But times are different. We have evolved. We have and are continuing to usher in a new world. And it was because of the brave ass trailblazers before us that dared to have pride and self-satisfaction in their abilities, right? They didn't have a low importance. They dared to have a high estimate of their self-importance. Think of your hero or someone you look up to, an author, a singer, an activist, an entrepreneur, a thought leader that you admire, somebody from history that you love to learn about and they inspire you. Really think of that person that just inspires you to be better, or you just love the things that they're doing, or they changed your life just by the work that they do, right? Thank fucking God they weren't humble. Thank you, universe, that they didn't have a low estimate of their importance. And so if bragging still feels uncomfortable to you, find a new word, find a new concept. Showing what's possible, right? Just like the people that you're thinking of right now, they showed what was possible. They blazed that trail. So every time you share, that's what you're doing. You're just sharing. You're showing what is possible. You show it's possible to make a living off of a passion. You show 6-figure years, even 6-figure months are possible. You show residual income is possible. You show women of color making more money and changing the world as possible. So not only is it not a negative to brag, it's pretty much like our duty as successful women and BIPOC and queers and non-binary badasses to show what is possible for those watching us, for the people that look like us, for the people that carry those types of stories like us, right? We are surrounded by the messages that only a certain type of person succeeds. These damn systems were designed that way. So a way to rewrite this narrative is for all of us trailblazers and thought leaders and revolutionary thinkers and game changers to shine a light on what is possible, right? We're also, when we show up in our power, when we know what we're bringing to the table, when we are moving in those rooms and attracting the people that are meant for us, people can find us better. People can find what we're offering to the world easier. When we dare to show up in the confidence of like the results that we bring our clients and the game-changing programs that we have, or, just that you need to know me type of vibe, our people can connect with us faster. Our clients can find us faster, and we can go and jump into changing their lives or changing their business or sharing the knowledge that we have with them quicker. Okay. So it's just another way for us to light the way for the people that really need us. And also not just for other people, right? Just for our freaking damn selves. We deserve to have a moment to say, look what I did. And if someone doesn't like it, who cares, right? If you are proud of what you created, the goal you achieved, the rad thing you brought into the world, shout it from the rooftops, okay? Shout it out. Some of us are worried about triggering someone else or hurting feelings of their greatness. And a friend of mine just posted on our Instagram, does my freedom trigger your cages? I love that. I was like, yes, this, right? Because you'll see it all the time. But maybe that's what they need, is to be triggered and rattled. It's to be shown where they need to heal and rise and be shown some blind spots, right? I totally have unfollowed people, and I unfollowed a mentor on social media. It was probably, a few months ago. I don't even remember what she did, but something about a post that she made really triggered me. It irked me. I think I said ew out loud, which is not like me to say. But she later popped up on my explore page, right? And I went back, I watched the reel, I loved the content, and I was like, why did I feel like this? I went back and I followed her, and I realized that the reason I wasn't liking her posts and the reason that I was like, ew, was because it was showing me my blind spots that I wasn't willing to see yet. It was showing me spaces in my own mindset, specifically around success and money, that were not up leveled yet. Okay. It was making me question my own worth and highlighting areas I need to heal. She wasn't doing it on purpose, right? It was triggering some worth and value wounds within me, but that's not her business. That's not her business. It's not her fault. She didn't try to do that. But imagine if she was worried about triggered little Aria Leighty and what she was thinking and sitting on her phone saying, ew, right? This mentor has changed so many people's lives with their content and her work and her magic. She does some bomb ass shit for her clients. And it's because she unapologetically refused to have a low estimate of her importance. She showed up. She talked about money. She talked about abundance. She showed why she was a good mentor. She attracted clients that were ready for that level of power and success. And she changed their lives. And even just those watching her reels and not investing, right? Her comment section is filled with people talking about her impact on them. Like, this changed my life. This is such great content. So why would she hold herself back because somebody like Aria Leighty is thinking something negative about what she's posting, right? The other thing that I think that we do, I know that I do, is we feel like we need to justify things to others when we do have big wins or positives. Like, even just sharing pieces of our joy gets branded as bragging or rubbing it in. I remember a time when I had my brick and mortars that I couldn't even bring myself to post about going on vacation without making sure everybody knew that I worked 15 days straight first, right? Like, make sure everyone knows that I've been killing myself at work and I've earned this. When I began healing these pieces of me and realizing that life is more than just struggle, and it's not a freaking misery competition to show who's got more weight on their shoulders, I began to show up in my new joy, sharing moments of ease and flow and abundance, showing pictures of vacations, showing pictures of things that I was able to purchase with my money, showing, taking a day off in the middle of the week. And people in my life would comment things like, must be nice. And at first it made me very defensive. It made me want to shrink back again, or like justify the shit I have gone through to quote unquote earn the space in my life, right? I want to be like, well, you have no idea what I've been through. But you know what? Damn it. It is nice. It is nice, right? It is nice to live a life of freedom and joy and expansion and ease and flow and happiness. Hell yeah. It's nice to celebrate myself. I work hard. I love to celebrate my achievements. I love to celebrate the things that I do. I love to celebrate that I'm able to record a podcast and that I've done all of this inner work to even show up and believe in myself, right? It is nice to bet on my damn self, win, and then tell the world about it. And it's nice to no longer live in a world where I have a low estimate of my importance. I spent too much time living in that humble world. I don't need that shit, right? I want more of it. I want to be surrounded by it. I want to spend my days seeing my people winning and celebrating the hell out of it, right? And that's what I want so badly for all of you guys. I want you to have that type of life where it's like, isn't it nice? Yeah. So that's why it's my duty to talk about it. That's why it's my duty to show what is possible for someone like you, right? To grow up in poverty, to grow up and have abuse and trauma, to grow up in a marginalized community, to have all of those types of things and still succeed. I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to brag about it. I'm going to be boastful as shit. And I hope that it shows you that it's possible and it's for you as well. Okay. That's what I want for you. That's where I will end it. Go out and have a high AF estimate of your importance. Like, tell the world your wins, show it's possible, pave the way. do the big, scary AF, most anti-humble shit you can do. And when you brag, tag me in that shit. Aria Leighty, Glitter Mindset. I will celebrate with you. I will show up in your comments, hyping you up like you have never seen. Okay. So brag away. Thank you so much for tuning in today. And until next time, this was Glitter Mindset. I am Aria Leighty and I love you.